baby.
Matt, dude, thanks for coming to hang, man.
Thanks for having me.
Kind of sprung this on you last minute.
Okay.
Your boy Tim couldn't make it. Obviously, he had some
doing the punk rock thing. He's down in on his way to Florida to play a pre-fest with Qualifier. So,
okay,
yeah.
sick, man.
Yeah.
Do you play in a band too?
No, me and Tim used to play in a band called Biggie versus Tupac, and, and then I was in a band in the early '90s in Huntsville, but not currently. Drums are sitting in the basement, just chilling. But Tim's still real active. He's usually got one thing going on at least. Sometimes he's got two or three. He started in Dree Lear. I don't know if you've had any of them on the podcast.
No, not yet.
You should.
That would be cool.
You
yeah,
should.
You know those dudes?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, Jackie and Mandy and Mikey are amazing. But Mikey took over for Tim after he left, and then Tim's in Me and My Knife as well. They're kind of on like hiatus with COVID and everything, but Qualifiers still rocking out. So.
Dude, well, that's sick, man. Well, we're sad to not have him here.
Yeah, me too.
Dude,
we'll see if I'm entertaining enough.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be awesome, man. Been following you guys for a while, and actually saw you at the punk rock
flea market.
Yeah, man. And you said, we were talking earlier before we got started, you said that was really kind of your vibe.
Yeah.
Being around that crowd and stuff, and I guess you guys did pretty good for slinging burritos.
Yeah. I mean, we sold out, but we have to, the way that we operate, we have to bring a certain amount because we don't cook on spot. You know, we went into the kitchen and heated everything up and then come prepped. So it's like we're shooting for sellout as opposed to having a bunch of stuff left over.
Well, that was the rad part because there were other food trucks and just lines like crazy.
Yeah.
Alex was like, no, go grab a burrito. It's like, I walked up, I need 4 burritos. Yeah, easy, done. And then I was out of there. I was like, this is the best thing on earth.
Trying hard.
How many burritos do you plan to bring? You guys have been doing these pop-ups around town.
Yeah.
And we'll get into how you guys got started here in a second. But, I mean, do you just ballpark like, okay, we're going to take 100 burritos, 200 burritos?
It's honestly like the vibe has something to do with it. It's like, where are we going? You know, who is the clientele? So, you know, we did a pop-up at the Earth Library's book fair, and so we took 150 burritos and we sold out. So we were like, we should definitely take like 150 burritos to Punk Rock Flea, and that should be good, you know. Or we probably could have done a little bit more, but we got it right up to the edge, you know. Everyone was kind of like winding down when we sold out, so it was.
You didn't have a line of people coming up like, "Oh, you're out!" No,
not so much. We did fail to. We didn't have any vegan cheese in the kitchen, so I failed a couple of customers, which I feel really bad about. But
dude, lose some sleep over that, man.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get them next time.
Well, dude, Burrito Punx, really cool concept, really cool vibe that you guys have going. Why burritos, and why start a burrito company? And
burritos are cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, burritos are awesome, and I had 2 of your burritos that you guys were serving at you had a 2 for deal.
You had our baseline, our Al Green, and our rudimentary bean ice. It was like a green and red burrito. That was the twofer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they were both delicious.
Awesome.
And you hooked me up with a bunch of sauces and stuff. And then right after that, I'd actually the week before bought a bag of burritos because I just wanted to try them all, you know, since I knew we were going to have you on the podcast. And I forgot to pick them up. Yeah. So I don't know how common an issue that is.
You forget to pick up your food?
Dude, I don't know, man. Because the way you guys do it, you prep the burritos, you sell through the week, and then at the end of the week, like on a Saturday, that's when people come and actually pick them up, and you have a place in Irondale that you guys are out there for 2 hours or whatever.
We're the pickup's at our commissary kitchen that we're in a shared space with some other people who do things like delivery, internet. There's a catering guy in there and everything, but we take orders through Thursday at noon, and that's our cutoff. Actually, this week, if this gets aired tomorrow, the cutoff is Wednesday because I got to take a trip on Thursday. But typically Thursday at noon is our cutoff, and we are cooking ingredients and sauces throughout the week, and then we assemble late Thursday night so that I can deliver on Friday within a 10-mile radius, which is a lot further than one would think. I basically don't go to Hoover. That's about it, because I'll get a Vestavia Hills order and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to Vestavia Hills today. So we deliver on Friday and then pickups on Saturdays from 11 to 1 at the Irondale Commissary Kitchen location.
Seems like a lot of work, man. Golly.
What's pretty insane is that it's all within 19 hours of kitchen time.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like we go in Tuesday and do prep work. We go in Thursday and do prep work, and then assembling of the orders. And then Saturday before the pickups, we go in and do more prep work, like because the sauces last. So we do sauces on Saturday, that kind of thing.
Dude, that Saturn sauce is off the chain, man. That's probably my favorite one.
That's the orange sauce,
That's
right?
the bright
the
orange
sauce.
sauce,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's so good. Oh my god.
That's Tim's baby. It's not a whole lot of stuff.
I don't know what's in it, but it's
the
delicious.
the ratios are important, but that's Tim's baby, and it's a lot of people's favorite. But there's also a lot of people who really favor the green sauce.
Green sauce
just
is
kind of
solid.
depends on who
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just dumping them all, so
Yeah.
I'm a fan of all of them.
Seen that often.
Yeah.
All three.
Well, dude, take it back, man. How did you guys get the idea to start this burrito empire that you're building, and why is it structured the way that it is?
So Tim and I have been talking food for a long time, since we were, in that band together 5 or 6 years ago. We love burritos. That's just kind of a common thread that we had, but so much so that a bunch of the bands that we like, and we've got some friends out in San Diego. San Diego is, to us, is like the home of the California burrito. I mean, that does have meat in it, but it's like meat and the fries, and the different sauces and guacamole and stuff. So we went out there for market research in 2018, because we've talked about multiple things. We talked about how this city needs a pizza by the slice place,
yes.
like a real pizza by, like, here's $3, give me cheese and bread.
Yeah.
But burritos is like more close to our heart. I used to work in it is owned by a full-blooded Mexican person from California, but it's in Huntsville. It's called Bandito Burrito. I used to work there in the early 90s, and maybe that started my love affair with burritos. I don't know. So it's been a while. That was kind of a backwards getting to that whole thing, but doing burritos was what we wanted to do. We love them. If you look around on my tattoos, I have like 5 burritos.
You got 5 burrito tattoos?
Like it's like the skeleton is holding a burrito, and the original thing, it was holding a flag. And I've got like a tilt wheel pill man on my foot, and he's holding a burrito instead of a cigarette.
Dude, that's love, man.
Yeah,
That is love. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's life right there.
yeah, burrito life. And so then so Tim works a full-time job, slinging steel at a Sipco, and I do some side jobs and everything. I do some tile work with my buddy Adam. You guys had Classic Cut Boys on here. Adam did that giant tile wall behind where they cut hair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
And but during the pandemic, it was kind of like, okay, what can I do? And I had some extra time on my hand. I had quit a full-time gig, and I was like, let me see if this might work. So we did start doing some underground burritos through the home kitchen, and then it was kind of like our respective partners were like, y'all gotta either do this or don't do this,
Yeah.
because it doesn't need to be in our refrigerator or in our kitchen kind of thing, which is totally true. Like you run out of refrigerator space really fast.
I can just imagine you guys getting together on like a Friday night and just like cooking up like
Yeah.
40 burritos, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
experimenting with stuff. And
Oh, dude, there were
burrito party.
Yeah, no, yeah, that for sure. With like when we're experimenting with stuff, it is like, okay, but does this work? You know, does this not work?
Dude, invite us
That
the next
sounds
time
so
you do that.
rad.
You're just
Yeah.
trying out some new. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that like Taco Bell and some of the bigger chains, they have what's called like food scientists. You know, Taco Bell, they do some pretty experimental stuff.
Food science. Where do you go
And-
to school for that?
I don't know if it's a real position, but I heard about that when I was out in Anaheim one time. We drove by the Taco Bell facility, and the dude that I was with was like, "Yeah, they my buddy works there, and he just like sits around and invents food for Taco Bell. That's like his job."
Did
And
he invent the freeze thing?
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead with your
Or
story.
the Dorito taco or whatever, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just like, dude, I want that job, man. So
I feel whenever
sounds like it'd be fun.
I
you
was
know?
gonna say, whenever you say food scientist, I'm thinking more of the people who figure out the chemicals that are in like Dorito dust or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So they can restructure it. and-
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like you know, you go to England or whatever, and they've got like prawn chips, you
like
know,
the
and it's-
knockoffs and stuff.
Yeah,
They
well,
reverse engineer Doritos.
Yeah, reverse. Yeah, let's condense those
How can
those
I make
ingredients
this?
into a powder, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is really fun though, sitting around and just like, hey, what would go with this and what would go with that, and then there's also times where I'm like, wow, I failed miserably. I
This is
definitely,
so bad.
yeah, this is really terrible. This is totally unsalted, or you know, something like that.
Doesn't seem like you can mess a burrito that bad, man. That's
You
it.
can do our first try at getting the TVP, which is a soy protein. The first time that we tried to do that at my house, and this was like 2017. This is how like long we've been trying to think about stuff like this. It was awful. It was like we made like spaghetti sauce, you know, as opposed to anything that tasted like meat or what would go in a burrito. And it was just like,
Now, y'all just like, how do you even start? I mean, are you reverse engineering burritos on your own, or did you have like places besides the food truck that you worked at? Shout out Bandito Burrito.
yep. There you go.
Are they still around, by the way?
It's not a food truck. It's in an old. It used to be a Church's Fried Chicken on Governor's Drive, but they've been there for 30 years.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. And
All right.
so,
Next time I'm in Huntsville, I'll have to
Yeah.
check that out. But when you're experimenting with food, I mean, did you have a background doing any kind of like vegan meals where maybe
Yeah.
you already knew some stuff that might work?
Yeah, so for sure. You know, we both have industry backgrounds. Tim worked at Bottle Tree for brunch.
Shout
He-
out
he-
Bottle Tree,
yeah,
dude. You're the
yeah.
second person that's
RIP.
mentioned Bottle Tree, dude.
He worked at Hot Diggity Dogs. Tom, that works with us, also worked at Hot Diggity Dogs. Brenton, that does a little bit of stuff with us, he works at Shoe Shop right now. And then I worked at Starbucks in 97 to like 2003. And then I also worked at Whole Foods for 9 years. So I've got some background, you know, in food, and definitely in I have done everything in my life. I've eaten meat all the time. I've eaten no meat and been completely vegan, been vegetarian. Right now, I guess you could say that I was pescatarian. It's kind of so stupid, like, to put all these words on. It's like you should just eat what you want to eat.
Yeah, man.
But I find the interesting thing about doing vegan or vegetarian burritos, because the only thing that makes them vegetarian is that we put dairy cheese on them. Everything else is completely vegan. And I think that's really interesting because you have to figure out what you can do with certain things, and it also forces you to expand your horizon of what is this plant and what can I do with it, you know?
I dig that. That's cool. When you guys, I guess you're outgrowing your home kitchens, and you decide, okay, we want to go full steam. What year did you guys officially start the company?
Just this year.
Just
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
thought you guys had been around longer.
No, beginning of this year. I mean, we started probably late summer, early fall of 20. I get the years mixed up with the
Well,
whole-
2020
last
got
year,
us
like,
all
doesn't
screwed up,
count.
yeah, yeah. But so then and then, I mean, it took. There are, and we don't have a sit down section. We don't have beer and wine, so we don't have a lot of the other things. I still had to get a lawyer friend, draw up papers for the LLC, and then there were like 9 other licenses to get just to be legal. And it took from November until February to figure all that out because there's no rule book. There's no checklist of who to go to get what. And usually when you wind up going to someplace, they're like, you got to go to this place first. And
You're
it's
in the
like,
wrong place.
Yeah, yeah. And then you go to that place and they're like, well, you got to get that one. I was like, no, they told me to come over here first.
Well, they lied. You got to go back.
Yeah. It's wild.
So you don't just go to the courthouse, Jefferson County Courthouse, and say, "Hey, I'm going to start a restaurant."
Yeah,
know.
that's not the way that it goes.
I guess you guys technically aren't a restaurant. Where do you fall? Not having
yeah.
catering.
Catering.
Like legally we're catering. But we also had to, like, this one lady at the actually at the courthouse. She's like, "So you just serve food?" Yes. Well, people are going to have to drink. So you got to be legal to sell drinks too. Like, I was like what? Like, we don't have a soda fountain. Well, bottles. And I was like, okay, you tell me what I need. That's fine. So
you have to serve drinks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we don't have to, but we have to have it on paper.
Right.
So it's just some.
It's like, no, I'm here to sell burritos, dude. I'm not trying to sell bottles of water. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Where did you guys end up going to cook?
So we have a place over in Irondale. It's actually connected to Red Bike Coffee, and the people that own that are super cool. But they're running their beanery. I mean, what is the coffee?
Roasting
roastery,
facility?
Roastery, yeah. Roastery,
Beanery.
Yeah, beanery. That's what we would be, right?
We're the
Burritos,
coffee beanery.
Yeah. So they run their roasting out of facing the right side, and Bonnie's Brittle is in the back of that, and that's like their permanent space to produce. And then next door is a place they called Kitchen Station, and that's where we're out of. So, we've got a freezer, refrigerator. Other people have their freezers and refrigerators there.
So a lot of people share the space.
Yeah. It's a shared space. So
That's
it's like
pretty unique.
it's rental. Yeah,
I've never heard anything like that.
I mean, it's a thing. There's one in Hoover, and I don't know what it's called. I do know that it's
Yeah, I'm sure.
too much of that. But the folks at Red Bike that run this are
Well, it
very,
sounds
very cool.
Well, I know, like starting a quote unquote restaurant, there's a really risky business. I know like 9 out of every 10 restaurants fail or something like
Yeah.
that. Some don't quote me on that, but some crazy
I'm
statistic.
quoting you.
It's like 60%.
Yeah.
I think but that's
But
huge.
maybe if people could do a kitchen
Yeah.
commissary, kind of like, is that what it's called? Kitchen commissary.
Yeah.
And just kind of get started versus having to shell out a bunch of money and get a brick and mortar or go buy a food truck or
Yeah.
something like that and
Yeah.
invest all this money.
Yeah.
It's a good
Maybe
stepping stone.
Yeah, it's a good stepping stone.
Yeah.
Like kind of hone your craft and find your audience and
Yeah.
perfect the recipes and stuff before you go in. And
Yeah.
so I guess that's benefited you guys, but I can imagine it also probably poses its challenges.
Well, yeah,
you can only
because
use
then
it.
you have the kitchen, but then you gotta. How do you get that out to people? you
Yeah.
know? Like that's what I think super unique is all the different pop-ups and stuff y'all do. It's
Yeah.
like you've got your kitchen, but then
It's like, okay, how do we find
Right.
people
Yeah.
to sell these burritos to?
Yeah.
that's what's so
It's-
cool.
Yeah, it is definitely squeezing those things in. Doing the pop-ups is important to us, but I mean, we have a pretty like good base, maybe 25, 30 people that order almost like every single week. And if they order 7 burritos each, like that's great for us. That keeps the rent paid and the doors open even though the doors are never open. And then, doing pop-ups is kind of more like the gravy, but it's also trying to get the brand out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What was you guys are vegetarian. Did you initially go into it like, we want to be a vegetarian burrito company?
yeah.
What are the pros and cons to that? Or there are any cons? I mean, it seems like you don't have to deal with meat, so I guess maybe
Yeah.
that's a pro.
That is actually a huge pro, especially when you're talking to the health department. There's nothing like when you go for your license that has anything to do with that. But when they come and inspect you and everything, it's just like, yep, no meat. Like you got nothing. You can't tell me that fish is over beef and those have to be, and then the vegetables have to be over that, because we're just like, it's all
veggies,
vegetables.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all fine. So nothing, no problem with that. But I mean, for me, the other pro is there are plenty of really good restaurants around town that have options, but until we got places like Underground Vegan or Slutty Vegan is supposed to be coming here, and there are a couple of trucks around town. I can't remember what but I follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, there's a
I
bunch.
can't, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're serving a lot of the similar things. It's like, hey, we've got the big fat fake chicken burger, we've got the big fat fake burger. It's like, cool, and I would rather have a burrito than a burger. So, trying to fill a little hole. Also, if you look at the options, like for what a burrito to me is in town, there's not a whole lot of options. You can go to a restaurant and you can get like a wet burrito, and it just kind of, that's never been for me. I want a handheld thing. You can go to Chipotle or Qdoba or whatever and get these like weird giant things that to me don't have any flavor or whatever. But that's like the style that we do is, 2 burritos, try to get out under $10. That way you can spend $1 on a tall boy or something, and you've got lunch or dinner or breakfast. I don't know, whatever you want.
Well, you got one with eggs in it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was about to
We've
ask
got
if y'all
2.
did
Yeah.
breakfast burritos.
Yeah, we've got 2. Yeah, we got
Okay.
we dubbed for breakfast and the Black Heart. Both of those have, and then last week we actually had a special, the Tim version that had eggs on it as well. So Tim's a big breakfast burrito person, like always with eggs. I'm just a burrito for breakfast person. Doesn't
Any
have to have
burrito,
eggs
yeah.
in it. Yeah. Burrito time is any time, right?
Yeah, man. How did you guys? First of all, I want to say I listened to the podcast that you guys did with Carrie Rollwagon, the Localist podcast. For anybody that's listening,
Yep.
she's got an awesome podcast where she talks to like local entrepreneurs and other business owners. And the one that you and Tim did was really cool. So a lot of the questions I kind of already know the answers to, but I may still ask. But I know running a small business can be pretty difficult to do. It seems like you guys are handling it well. If you had to do it all over again, would you, knowing what you know now and having jumped through the hoops that you've jumped through?
Yeah, I would say as much of a headache all the county and licensing and everything is, I would still, if we close tomorrow and then we could reopen in a month, I would totally do it. It's fun. It's a good thing to do. I enjoy having people give me feedback on what we're doing. Yeah, I liked this one. I didn't like this one. It's a way to be creative, and it's a way to kind of like share love too, because you're giving somebody sustenance. Like that's a big deal. I mean, do you not love your granny's cooking? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like that's one thing. You're like, you equate those things together. So I definitely equate this with doing something good.
It's you and all your buddies too.
Yeah,
Like that's
Yeah, like you said, you kind of equated it to like being in a band or doing anything
Yeah.
that's creative, a creative endeavor,
Yeah.
where it's in food or you're making music or doing a podcast.
Yeah.
It's just like a creative outlet to do something, and maybe getting that positive feedback is worth more than like a few more bucks in your pocket. It's like there's got to be a stronger drive to do things other than just for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we do this for free, and we
Yeah.
Dude, we're
I
rolling
love
in the
sitting
money,
around
man. What are you
him
talking about?
every week?
Yeah, dude.
But it's also a thing like you're giving. You know, it's like you guys are highlighting people that you think are interesting, but it's also kind of like you're giving to these. Hey, here's some exposure. You
Yeah.
know, it's like we're hanging out, we're having a good time, but it's like here's some exposure because this is like you believed in us enough to come onto our podcast, so we're definitely believing you enough because we asked you here. You know, that's the kind of thing that's a to me that's a big thing is like giving, having this community. You know, you were talking about Carrie Rollwagon's, you know, Localist podcast. It's just like all these things like you want to go to Saturn, you want to see the people that work at Saturn because like there's a connection, you know, you want to go to your favorite restaurant, you want to get food from the people that serve you and blah, blah, blah. And then you can do other things with that too. You know, we did a thing, we ran some special burritos and just like marked them up as opposed like we try to keep our threshold at $5. But we marked these up to $7. And we gave a certain amount of every burrito to the Magic City Legal Center and for an entire month. And we did that so we could give back to something that we believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, I wrote them a check for $1,100, and I was like, that's great,
Dude, that's awesome.
you know. And
Yeah.
it's like, and when you're talking about selling a $7 burrito, it's like we didn't make any money off of that,
Mm-hmm.
but we also were like, hey, we can be part of a bigger picture, you know. And that's important to me, you
Yeah.
know, for sure, is that we have that ability to do that when we can.
You guys have gotten a lot of positive feedback, but there's always, you said some of the burritos that you guys first started out with maybe weren't some home runs. Have you had any burritos once you guys have gotten up and rolling and got your business license and kind of going full steam that people were, you know, maybe your guys at Classic Cuts were like, hey, maybe dial this one back. Maybe take that one off the menu.
Yeah, God, I don't know if I can remember. I mean, they're usually pretty positive.
We're pretty badass. I mean,
But-
all our burritos
Yeah.
are like fucking delicious.
Well,
so.
but there's and this is where you have to figure out the nuances of who you're talking to.
Because nobody's going to tell you, dude, that
Yeah,
sucks.
This is balls.
This is
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah.
I love this. Oh my gosh, this is great. And you're like,
Yeah.
are you telling me the truth? Or-
Yeah, yeah. And so you look for certain things when they're giving you the feedback. And but there are some yeah.
When they take that long pause.
Yeah. But there are definitely some people who will be like, yeah, it's really good, but I would like to see, you know, more onion, or, you know, it's like it eats a little dry, you know. It's really good,
Yeah.
but it eats a little dry. Like
The
maybe-
compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
I love this
exactly.
burrito. I
Yeah.
would work on
Yeah.
the amount of beans you're putting in there, but I love this
But
burrito.
it's really good.
But it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I'll totally order it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of, but yeah, you figure things out.
How many burritos do you guys sell on average a week? Is it just all over the board? I
Yeah.
mean, how's October been for you guys?
Yeah. I mean, it averages out at about like 250 burritos a week.
250 burritos.
Well, but when you're talking about $5 a pop, you're not making a lot of money.
Still,
You know?
I'm just thinking about the prep work of making
Oh, yeah,
250
no, yeah,
burritos.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a lot of
no,
burritos. Like, not the
totally. Yeah,
money, but
yeah,
just
yeah.
the like,
Dude,
okay,
we're-
I got to go. What are you doing Friday? I got to make 250 burritos.
It's a machine when it
Yeah.
happens, because we can knock it out. But that's when we
Do
knock
I have like
it
an
out.
assembly line, or are
So-
you
yeah.
assembling every burrito from start to finish?
Yeah, no, it's. I mean,
I'm only on onion duty.
Can't-
Just slide down.
can't. Well, I mean, it is. I start. Tim does the middle part. Tom finishes on super busy weeks, and then Tom and Brenton might like swap out because Tom might leave and Brenton might come in or whatever. But it's also something that because we learned our capacity, like what we could do when we were in the house. Like Tim found a 7-foot long serving table on next door or whatever, you know, it is, bought it. We saved some money from selling burritos, and I was like, you buy it, I'll pay you back. And here it is. Here's $300. And that sat in my kitchen until about 2 months ago. Like, it didn't have a kitchen table. just had a serving table set against the wall, and whether it was me and Tim, whether it was me and my partner, it's like somebody was in there just rolling burritos. So you figure out
You're like
what
rolling
you can,
burritos in your sleep.
yeah, but you figure out what you can do. You know, it's like, hey, I know that's going to take me by myself 6 hours to roll 250 burritos. So then if you got two people, then that should be 3 hours or whatever, you know?
Dude. Well, I tip my hat to you, man. That is a labor of love right there, man, for sure.
Still fun. We listen to yacht rock Spotify playlists and roll burritos while we.
What better way to spend a Friday night, you
Yeah.
know? Your boys rolling burritos. Was it always the idea like, hey, we're going to prep these burritos because it's pretty unique that you guys have food that's meant to be taken home cold and then reheated later?
Yeah.
Was that the original idea, or did you guys kick around like, okay, how can we sell hot burritos?
No.
Or did you guys know?
That's how we figured it out. It's like so these things are formulated food scientists.
Yep,
You
there it
know,
is.
to be like, so we made this in order to cool it down, prepare it cold, serve it to you cold, so that then you can go home and put it in a skillet, put it in the oven, put it in the air fryer, eat it cold. Got a lot of people who actually just
Really?
eat them cold. Yeah,
Okay.
which is totally fine.
Well, I
Totally
love
do
the
that.
website because you have like cooking instructions.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you have
yeah.
the fryer is
The
fancy.
deets.
Yeah,
fancy.
yeah,
I was like,
fancy.
oh, it is fancy.
I did try that, man. It was good. It kind of gave it that grilled stuffed burrito
Yeah.
type
exactly.
style.
Yeah,
that was good.
Exactly. But
And
it's also like, you know, if you've got a 60 seconds, you've got
Just
lunch.
nuke that
you
bad
know,
boy,
like,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of microwave cooking, but microwave burritoing, you got to be okay with it, you know.
That's cool, man. But I mean, is anybody else? I think you're probably the first vendor that I've found that's actually serving food. I mean, other than like a grocery store or something, that's actually serving food specifically just to be eaten later. Unless you're lucky enough to catch you guys at like a pop up where you
Right.
get a hot burrito.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're probably in the minority. We actually, shout out to Kat Sweat. She runs a business called High Bar Nutrition, which is out of our kitchen as well. We're actually like back to back, so we see each other all the time. And she does it's meal prep, but it's not like those boxes that they send you to the house and then you cook it or whatever. Like she's cooking for people, and she can cook you like a meal, a week's worth of meals, like whatever, and she then delivers it to you cold, or you can go pick it up from her. She doesn't have like designated pickup times, but and then boom, it's like I mean it's like all both she and us, you know, it's basically like going to the grocery store and buying a microwave dinner, except for the fact that it's not frozen.
It's
you know,
way
it's just
better.
refrigerated, so it's kind of fresher and you know, because we do it every week, it's like, you know, that we were just doing it
Right.
like that, right?
What's the shelf life of your burritos? I ordered the
A dream
bag.
You got
dream
the
bag.
whole bag,
I don't know
yeah.
how many it came with. It was like
Seven.
seven
Yeah,
burritos, and ate them throughout the week.
It's a little hefty, you know.
And I
right?
was like, man, I gotta get these things eaten, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't. How long does a
So,
Burrito Punx burrito last?
Yeah, in the refrigerator, like from, you know, at the latest, you either delivery on Friday or pick up on Saturday. So from there, in the fridge, probably till about Wednesday, so 2 or 3 days. And then after that, you can just freeze it and pull it out and defrost and good to
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah. you get a
Okay,
couple
so
days.
we had our buddy Justin on who hiked the Appalachian Trail, and he said that his big diet was he bought frozen burritos and then
Yeah.
let them thaw out in his backpack. If I was gonna hike the Appalachian Trail, could I load up on some Burrito Punx and hike it
So
and still eat over a couple of days?
Good 7-day shelf life.
I was gonna say, like, from frozen, you could probably get away with a couple of days.
Let's
or
go.
maybe like 7 days. I don't know, but you're not gonna make it from Maine to
Okay,
Tennessee
okay.
or whatever.
That's
No.
fair.
that's
That's fair.
I don't think many people do that.
That's actually what Tim. Sorry, but
No, man.
Tim's, you know, he's in the van going to Florida today. He froze burritos for the band. They have a strict vegan Reagan playing drums, and he froze a bag of burritos just so that they could he could pull them out yesterday. They would start thawing, and then they would have burritos,
That's
and they could just
rad.
eat them cold.
That's
driving
so
to
rad.
Florida.
Throw them bad boys in the dash. and
Exactly.
let them cook,
That's the
yeah.
thing. I don't know. I might have said this on that Localist podcast, but you can totally take not a frozen burrito, but if you take a refrigerated burrito, put it on your dashboard on a sunny day.
Yeah.
Like I would go work tile, put that burrito on the dashboard, come out at lunch.
That's
You got a
hot
warm
lunch.
burrito,
Yeah.
right?
I think I
sounds
did that
great.
with a can of like SpaghettiOs at Bonnaroo one time.
Yeah.
Left it in the dash and it cooked. I was like, this is awesome.
Yep.
Now you guys make your own tortillas, is that correct?
Someone makes them, but they are freshly made.
Freshly
like
made.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it's
It's like, dude, where do you learn to make tortillas?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's tortillas are only flour, salt, water, and a little bit of baking soda,
Okay.
and that hence them being vegan as well. So, but
Is
yeah,
that like a local dude that makes them? Or
yeah.
where
I
you
mean,
go?
it's a local store down in Pelham,
Okay.
and so it's definitely. I mean, not gonna lie, our guts are good, but the game changer was the tortilla. Like if we had to buy tortillas like the store brands
Yeah.
or get them from Cisco or whatever, we wouldn't actually be doing this because we know what's good. And that's one of that time that Tim and I went to San Diego. One of the things we had an Airbnb and there was a Mercado like a block away, and we would just go there every day. And I was like, I always want fresh tortillas. Let's just get some of those, and then we would get like their buffet or whatever, and take it back to the Airbnb. And having those tortillas, like we had when we came back home, we had some kind of like atrocious 12-hour layover or something, and all we had was like tortillas that I had in my backpack, and we were just like sitting
Just
in the
eat raw
airport being
tortillas.
like, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
Well, dude, the tortillas were good, man. The first time I had your burrito was at the punk rock
Yeah.
flea market, and they were hot, man. They were super good, and that's the first thing I noticed is like this tortilla this burrito's wrapped in is unlike anything I've had, like at Moe's or
Yeah.
Chipotle or any of these other
Yeah.
big stores, I guess.
Yeah, you can steam a trash Cisco tortilla at Moe's or whatever, and it's like, oh, this tastes fresh, but it still tastes like a
Right.
mass produced.
Yeah, like a mass produced, really
Tortilla,
flowery,
yeah,
just
yeah.
like a heavy, dense.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really good. Yeah, it's awesome. So how many burritos do you guys have on the menu? Because I got the Wonder Bag or whatever you guys
Yeah,
are calling
Dream
it.
Bag.
The Dream
Yeah,
Bag.
Dream Bag.
And I thought I hit like all the major ones, but I'm sure I missed some.
Yeah. So we've got 9 on the permanent menu. So there's 2 that don't come in the Dream Bag because they were added after. I don't really want to raise the price of the Dream Bag, so they just kind of stay off. But yeah, so we've got the. You want me to go through them?
Sure.
Is
when
that
I got them,
entertaining? Yeah.
you had written on each burrito
Yeah.
like TV or
Mhm.
MP or whatever. I'm just saying. And I was like, I could probably pull up the website and figure out what I'm eating.
Yeah.
But I was hungry, and so I just ended up just eating it and
Yeah.
not really knowing.
Blind taste.
But there was a couple of them. I'm like, that one was good. I have no idea what's in it, but that was good. So
That's exactly what I just walked up to the table and I was like, what do you recommend? He's like, oh, this one and this one's great. And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Easy.
they were all good.
Yes.
But there was definitely some I was like, I don't know what's in this. I can't tell.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, go through and tell us.
Yeah. So
I'm sure you got them memorized.
Oh yeah, shit, totally. We've got our base, which the Al Green is just a green bean burrito, cheese, a little bit of white onion, and our green sauce, and then the rudimentary bean eye, which is that same thing except with red sauce. And we've got the wheat dub for breakfast, which is the breakfast burrito with the eggs and soy rizo. And we've got the You Down with TVP, which is the one that has kind of the TVP soy substitute.
Which one has the fries in it?
Yeah.
That's the mothership.
That looked
Okay,
awesome.
that one
That
was
looks
good.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I had 2 of those, I
Yeah.
think, and
It's got slow.
it stood out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
What stood out? Was it the taste
The
of
texture.
the adobo jackfruit or the texture of the
The
potatoes?
texture, I could
Okay.
definitely, when I bit into it, I don't know if it was fries or
Yeah.
potatoes of some kind,
Yeah,
but it definitely,
it's
I was
fries.
like, this is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was good.
Yeah, so that's fries and an adobo jackfruit.
Jackfruit,
Yeah,
okay.
Slow boil. It takes on like a pork consistency when you smash it up after you slow cook it. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was about to say we've eaten a lot of places that use jackfruit in place of like a meat substitute or a protein substitute, whatever the proper term is. And we've been surprised, man, just how good it was, you know.
You'll find it at a lot of places that would do like barbecue.
Yeah,
because you can make barbecue jackfruit, and it's
Almost
looks, feels,
indistinguishable.
exactly. It
It
just
just has
season
that
it right.
texture. It tastes like it's like, dude, I wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, totally.
So you said the TVP was
TVP, and that one's got black beans, the soy protein, which we cook kind of like ground beef, and rice, and then the mothership that we just talked about, and the grain of strength, which is like if you get a dream bag, you can get it vegan or vegetarian, but the grain of strength is always vegan because it's just beans, cheese, and onion. Beans, rice, and onion. So that's kind of like your dipping guy. It's like, which sauce do I want on this delicious burrito? And
We got it pulled up on the.
oh yeah,
I was about to say, we've got your website.
Oh,
pulled
and
up.
then like one of the most popular ones is the Sway's one.
Sways.
And that is of
Named after
course,
Sway's?
named after AP.
Shout out
yes.
Birmingham Classic Cuts.
That's right.
Those guys rule.
That's right. So,
Dude, I'm just getting hungry talking about
I know,
food. Oh
I
my god,
know.
I have to get another dream bag.
but that one's got rice and poblanos, white cheese, and pintos. It's really good. Probably.
Is that a limited edition, or is that on the menu
Sway's?
for
No,
sure?
that is
Staying?
that
Okay.
is staple. Staple. Probably the most popular burrito. And then there's other two that are pulled up right there. The corn this way. It's kind of like a street corn that you can get
dude,
at like
that
a
looks
festival.
awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's made with veganese, corn kernels, and tagine, and Saturn sauce, and beans. And then the Black Heart, and it's got 3 C's in it because we made that in order to do an event, and shout out to our friends at Crestwood Coffee Company. Kind of used Camille, the owner, and Joan Jett as an inspiration. And so it's kind of like, it's like the evil breakfast burrito. Like we have our regular breakfast burrito that has pintos, green sauce, egg chorizo, and then you like flip that around and go to the dark side, and then you've got black beans, egg chorizo, white cheese instead of yellow. It's like, I don't know.
Which is your favorite?
It's always going to be the Sways. Like
Okay.
the poblanos just, they bang so hard. It's really good.
All right, I haven't tried that one, so I gotta try it. How long did it take you guys to perfect this menu? And also, it seems like, you know, you guys are killing the social media game. Y'all just the way you guys advertise and make these like funny videos and stuff's really cool. And for a while, you were like doing interviews in the parking lot of like Seasick
yeah.
with the like roll of aluminum foil on like a paper towel roll.
Yeah.
I was
The
like,
old
this is
Burrito
hilarious,
Punx
dude.
microphone,
Yeah, man,
yeah.
that's awesome. But are you guys constantly just dreaming up new stuff that you just throw out there and let people try, or?
Yeah, I mean, our street team is Classic Cuts and Seasick. I will take things as well as taking them home to our respective partners. You know, taking them to those folks and saying,
Like, here, try
what,
this,
what,
try
do you,
this.
what do you
Try
think
this
about
sauce.
this? What do you think about this? Exactly.
What does it need? What does it need?
Exactly.
You're like making notes and
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Because I mean, that's the whole thing is you want, you figure out the people that you can trust, and you know people have different palates and everything, but it's like if you find something that kind of goes across, even if it's just like from okay to excellent, then you're like, okay, so in the middle, that's pretty good, you know. So maybe we should do that. But yeah, also it's just like I was saying earlier, I just love finding new stuff and like talking to people about food and being like, have you ever cooked with this? No. Tell me about it. Like, what is it? Some guys, two of the guys that run the Latinos Con Anda parties, Christian and Nano, they're vegetarian now. They both were vegan at one point in time, but they were like, have you ever cooked with hibiscus flower? And I was like,
This sounds so intimidating.
How do you cook with a flower?
How do you cook
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that, dude?
Well,
Yeah.
and it is that's probably an issue. Like some people don't get down with the mothership because you guys said it was great, had texture, blah blah blah. But some people are like, what's jackfruit? Like I don't want that, you know. And that happens. So just like the hibiscus flower is going to be on next week's ordering, but I don't expect people to be like, yeah, let me try it.
Hibiscus flower. I live for hibiscus.
Flower. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's totally cool because like it's a flower that you have to wash. You can make hibiscus tea with it, but if you wash it off and then
Is this like a powdery? Like I'm thinking like normal flour. Like
no,
cooking flour.
sorry, no. It's
This is like a flower.
yeah, it
like
is
a plant.
a dried flower.
Okay.
And it takes on a consistency of. It's not like when jackfruit breaks down into kind of like stringy pork. It's almost more like a beef, and so
Okay.
it has kind of a spongy, stringy texture. So if you look it up on YouTube, you'll find people like making vegan tacos out of it and everything. And that's the other thing is like we look at YouTube a lot. It's
I was
like,
about to say.
how can we, you know, if you hear about something like how do you prepare it, and then what can we do with it? Sometimes it's just like how to cut it and figure things out. Like I made there's on the hibiscus burrito that'll be next week. There's a chayote squash salsa, and I just saw chayotes all the time when I was shopping, and I was like, okay, so what do you do with this? You know, how do you do it? I mean, we're living in 2021, baby. Look it up on YouTube. You know,
Oh, that's how they do it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then you figure out how you want to use it. You know, it's like all I did was look up what is it, how do you cut it, how do you skin it, and it's super weird. It looks like a pear, and you cut the top off.
Is it a vegetable?
It is
fruit?
It's
What is it?
called a squash,
Okay.
but it's more like a fruit to me, or it's kind of like a hard cucumber.
Okay.
So, and it was
Whew, son. You're bold.
So it looks like
I'll make a burrito out of this.
well, it looks like a pear. You cut the top off, and then because it has this really weird gluey stuff inside it, you take the top and you rub it on just together. Like you cut off this much of it, rub it together, and it extracts the stuff out, and it foams and becomes this weird white glue. And y'all are like, I don't want to eat this.
What the hell is that?
I want to eat
But-
it just to say I ate white vegetable foam.
It's weird. Like you don't want it on your fingers. Like it almost turns like crazy gluish.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like you do that, get
Don't
it
touch
out.
it, but
No,
eat
no.
it.
Yeah. Don't touch it. You spin it around for a minute, and it pulls all that stuff out, and then you like put it under running water, let that get that foam off, and then you cut it, and it tastes like a hard cucumber, and it's great because you can put like citrus and spicing on it, and it holds up. Like if you can put cucumber in salsa, but it would turn to water
Yeah.
really fast. Chayote holds up under heat and cold, and it's really cool because you get that extra like texture and a little crunch.
That's wild, man. How long does it take you? You said you're debuting the what was the flower burrito we were talking about?
Yeah, hibiscus flower. Yeah.
How long did you work on that recipe before you're like, all right, this is ready for the public. Let's do this.
It was a while. Like I still can't get everybody on board with it, but there's a lot of people like AP and Newman, Classic Cuts, were like, "Yep,
It's
and
ready."
I was like, "Good, okay,
It's
perfect.
time.
Yeah, it is time." But yeah, no, it definitely took 3 run-throughs, like figuring out what to do with the hibiscus, because I didn't want to slow cook it, but I had to at least cook it for an hour in the sauce that I made, and like the sauce is kind of birria inspired. That's a style of taco.
Okay.
Yeah. So also, like,
You're throwing all this taco
Yeah, yeah.
jargon, dude. I'm like, I don't know any of this.
and that's the thing. A lot of these tacos are like a lot of taco stuff would be good in a burrito. It's just
Yeah.
people choose that the taco is a better vehicle. I like a flour.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm
flour
with you,
wrapped
man. I
tortilla,
love
you know?
burritos. Yeah.
Because you ain't got to like do this whole number when you eat a burrito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the birria taco is, it has it's almost like a jus, So
Okay.
you
Yeah, yeah.
you dip the taco in this stuff. Well, of course we would change that around and put the sauce on the taco kind of thing. But yeah, it just took a while. And the hibiscus, you have to figure out, I have to chop it down. You have to cook it in the sauce and then also chop it down, because if you don't, it is potentially a little bit too stringy. So you got to figure out those
Those little
flavor
nuances and
combos.
stuff.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You're a food scientist, dude.
I'm
It
a
is,
food
yeah.
scientist.
Yep.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Here's my number. BurritoPunx.com.
Yeah. It gets like a partnership or something
Yeah.
in there. But all this, it sounds complicated. I guess you guys get it streamlined down, to a well-oiled machine. How long are you guys in the kitchen, you said?
Yeah, just 19 hours a week.
19
Yeah.
hours. Is that enough time to get
No. I mean, it's like
immediate no?
Yeah, I mean, there are. It actually is we, people. I know people see us at the kitchen. They're like, "You guys are always just sitting around drinking beer outside," and it's like, no, we are actually working really hard. But it is a matter of what do we have to do? What day do we have to do it? That kind of thing. It's just the science of organization. I mean, and sometimes we have bad weeks. It's like, hey, you've got this many orders this week. It's like, oh, okay, let's go.
Yep.
And then there's other times when maybe we have a slow week and it's like, okay, cool, we got an hour. What do you guys want to cook?
Yeah.
And those are the times when
You get creative.
you get creative. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of cool. You're not having to make a bunch of supply hoping that there's a demand for it. You guys actually know exactly okay, we have this many orders to a T. Just sounds pretty efficient,
Yeah.
being
I
able
mean,
to,
that's why there's a cutoff time, because it's I mean, you can order after 12 on Thursday, but you're not getting it till the
just
week
roll
after.
over to the next week.
Yeah. So it is literally making stuff to order. And then we've gotten it to where we know I mean, sure, some of it's ballparking, but it's if we have 300 burritos to make this week, it's okay, so we're going to need 5 dozen eggs, we're going to need XXX, and then we make it and then
Off
go to
the
town. Yeah,
Yeah.
off to the races. Yep.
Do you only have burritos on the menu? You
Yep.
were talking about tacos earlier. You don't have
Yeah.
tacos yet.
No,
or
only
anything.
burritos. We do have a
They're the
gluten-free
Burrito
option.
Punx, Alex.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know if you guys. I mean, you
That's
start
a
to
taco
expand
Punx.
your horizon.
Yeah. Not taco punks. Yeah, and I don't think we have. I mean, there are so many amazing places that sell tacos here.
Yeah,
and some of
Kinda
them
got your
some,
niche.
Yes,
Stick
and
with it.
some of them sell burritos, but they're not our burritos. So
They're not specialty
yeah,
burritos.
Yeah, not trying that. But we do have gluten-free bowls. Never call it a burrito bowl. If you're using the word burrito, it's a rolled up thing. So this is just we call it the rice harvester bowl.
Okay, so you do have a bowl
Yeah,
option.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
something I was talking
Yeah.
about.
So it's like a base of rice, and then the guts of what's in our burritos.
So you can get any burrito in a bowl
Exactly.
form just
Yep.
without the tortilla.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
As you guys you said you just started this year, but it seems like business is doing well, and I see you guys. Hopefully, you're growing, and demand is picking up.
So it was I'll be completely honest, pandemic time was better because we delivered or picked up, and you can do that a lot safer
Sure.
than going to a restaurant or whatever. I'd say that we've kind of evened out. We have our regular customers, and then doing the pop-ups is kind of the gravy. But all in all, this is honestly kind of a labor of love.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it is more just about a couple of punk people just being like, hey, we like to cook, let's do this thing and see where it goes. I mean, it would be great if we made mountains of money, but it doesn't. It pays the rent, every once in a while we might take a couple of dollars home, but really it's just about paying licenses and paying rent, because it's something that we want to do. And that's something that came from, who we are. It's we're guys in bands that play music that not everybody likes, and you just do it because you have to,
Yeah.
I enjoy cooking, I enjoy creating that. I don't do anything else. I can't write a poem or draw a picture or anything like that, but I might be able to make some flavors.
I can make a damn burrito.
Yeah, I can make a damn burrito.
Well, dude, I can make a burrito. Like, if I took the most basic burrito ingredients, it would probably still be bad. You know what I mean? Like,
I
you're
wouldn't
able
eat
to
it.
take some hibiscus flour or some crazy ingredients I've never even heard of, and within a week, you're like, all right, we're doing this, and they're great, and they all taste good, and I'm sure the hibiscus one will be awesome, too. You said that'll be next week, so the week that this airs, next Monday,
boom,
the hibiscus.
This is the gate.
Yeah, dude,
right
they'll
here.
be out there, man. So the branding's really cool. I guess that goes hand in hand with your personality and you guys being in bands and stuff. Was that an obvious name when you guys were like,
No,
what are we gonna call it?
it was literally like, can't agree on anything, and it was just like, I got to put something on the paperwork. And I was like, this is
I'm on my way there.
Yeah.
Think of something.
This. Well, I mean, we were working under it. You know, it's like, let's just call it this. And when a better name comes along, and then nothing ever did. You know,
so that was the fallback.
Yeah.
You're like, we'll think of a better name. Burrito Punx. Yeah, that sucks.
Put an X on it. Yeah.
Put an X on it. I think it's cool.
I thought it was rad.
That's fun. Yeah. And
It's fun.
yeah.
It's all right.
What were some of the names? You were spitballing. And
I think like the only thing that I can really remember is, and because it's still in our Google file that Tim and I shared recipes back and forth with, and the file still says "Burritos for the people."
Burritos for the people.
Yeah, and
that could be a cool slogan though. Like I could see that on a T-shirt or something.
Yeah. It does.
Burrito Punx, burritos for the people.
As a slogan, it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
As a name, not so much.
Maybe it's a little wordy.
Yeah,
a little wordy for
yeah.
names. So Burrito Punx, easy to say,
Bang.
easy to remember.
Yeah.
Boom.
You can go BPX.
Yeah,
Just be
there
like,
you go. Yeah, I
done.
see that a lot. Is there anybody else in town that is approaching food in this model that you guys are doing, or taking? I mean, is there anybody else doing besides the big name guys like Chipotle or Moe's?
Yeah.
Doing burritos like this?
No, I think, at least not to our knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, even going to the taco trucks and getting their burritos, it's still like a slightly different style. They are bigger. You know, you would eat one of those, and I would always, when people are like, "Should I get one or two?" I was like, "Just get two. Like, if you don't eat it all, you can just wrap it up in the foil and take it with you. You know?
Yeah.
Put it in your purse." Purse burritos.
Purse
burritos. That
was a joke in there.
Boom, slide
Right
in
over my
the
head.
localist and all that. But yeah, I don't think so. And that's kind of my thing. Is I spent the first half of my life in Huntsville, and I spent the second half of my life here. And something that I always go to when I go back to Huntsville is like, I'm going to Bandito. And while it is like I've gone there for all 30 years that they've been open, so since I was 15, and maybe it's not even the greatest, but it's my thing, and
Sure.
and it's a lot of people that grew up in Huntsville's thing. So the best thing I could do is like, here's a tribute. And like I said, that guy came, his name's Oscar Cateris, and he came from California. And this whole style is cart style, which is like easy to go. You want it in your hand. It's basically the taco principle without the mess, So it's cart style stuff.
Cart style.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good way to define it, because you're right. You're like what you're offering isn't like any other typical burrito you find around town.
Yeah.
It's more of a West Coast thing, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know if I had to put it into words or whatever.
Yeah.
What's next for you guys? I mean, obviously you guys are going with the flow and hopefully growing and
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever have aspirations of doing like a food truck or having a brick and mortar or something?
Yeah. No, it would be amazing to do stuff like that. But I mean, probably the same way that you guys started this. It's like, oh, I can buy a camera. It's like it's not that big of an investment. Like I can get a microphone.
Yeah, dude.
Easy,
dude. Easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not easy. That's not what I mean. But our thing is like, we can get a place, we can get a kitchen, we can have recipes, and we're not in debt.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
That's awesome. Man.
We also don't have any money. So it's really just about again, kind of the labor of love. We want to do this. Do we have aspirations? Absolutely. Like, I would love to not work anything else, any other odd jobs, and just make burritos. I know that Tim would also love to be like, my job is fine, but I would love to make burritos all the time.
Just dive in,
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, but that's not something. He's not made of money. I'm not made of money. We can't.
No one is. No.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's, man, kudos to people who are just like, I'm gonna get behind that debt. Like, I've done that, like in a past lives, like, oh, I owe this much on a credit card, and I've got a house, and blah blah blah. I was like, I have a house now, but it's a rental house, and so I can do whatever, whenever.
There's something to be said to not being buried in debt, Like,
Yeah.
I was talking earlier about people that go out on a limb, want to start a restaurant,
Yeah.
and maybe don't take the approach that you guys are,
Yeah.
and dive full in, or sign a lease to a place, and then 6 months in realize, like, oh, we're not really making any money at all, and we have like all this debt, whereas you guys, at least, you're not.
Yep.
Seems like you're doing it the smart way.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I want to say is
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant approach, especially in such a risky business. I mean, there's so many people serving all kinds of food and stuff. And
Yeah. I mean, if everyone just hates on us tomorrow and we don't sell any more burritos, like, okay, we just close shop. Like, we're done.
it's like, well, that was
And
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like, okay, I played a 9-month-long show.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, done. So yeah, that's kind of aspirations. Sure, like, it would be great to stack paper and get a truck, stack paper, get a restaurant, but also we are not going to take that leap
Right.
with a chance of, hey, I gotta, sell my car, or,
Yeah.
I gotta pay somebody back for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
10
good.
years
You're
later,
good.
you're like, remember that stupid burrito
yeah,
business
yeah,
I
yeah.
started?
We're settled up when I'm 75.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Now, don't y'all have a third business partner? You mentioned Tim a lot, but is there
Yeah.
another guy?
Yeah, like Tom and Brenton.
Oh, there's two other
yeah,
guys.
but yeah,
Okay.
both work with us. So,
But I only ever see you two, or like it was Tim that was with you at the.
yeah. Like me and Tim, like, it kind of depends. Like, Tom works at Crestwood Coffee also, and so when we did a pop up there, like, he worked that event. But usually me and Tim are the ones who do events. Usually Brenton comes by if he's not working, and like hangs out, but he's not working.
Yeah.
We've got it filed out. We could probably make it a one person, operation if we needed to, because like you said, you just come and it's like, here it is, it's hot,
Right.
go, bye,
Right.
thanks. But yeah, so yeah, but I mean, it's honestly, we're friends who like to hang out and cook.
This is
and
like the glue,
talk
a
trash.
reason to get together.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
do
it's
stuff.
like
Yeah.
here's a reason. Yeah,
We gotta do something.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome, man. Well,
I mean, I wouldn't hang out with you if we didn't have a podcast.
yeah, I know. This is what brought us closer together. Like, we didn't hang out ever. So
Love you, bro.
thanks.
Yeah, it
Appreciate
wasn't family. It was,
Let's do something cool together.
yeah.
Any chance you guys will expand the menu, or are you guys pretty set on what you got? I mean, I know you guys kind of experiment and
I
add
think-
stuff here and there.
So, like, we usually look at the specials as potential expansion. When you say expansion, you talking about like just different flavors? You talking about like something other than burritos?
Just adding more burritos.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
pretty clear you guys are
Yeah.
sticking with the burritos.
Yeah,
Burrito
okay.
pizza.
Cool.
Let's
It's
go.
burrito.
Let's
Oof.
go.
Oof.
The pizza burrito.
There's a bunch of pizza places opening up like right now. Like there's a guy.
People can't get enough.
But they don't
pizza.
sell them by the
dude,
slice.
Exactly. Well, and I'm like, yeah, because there's a guy who just moved in called Golden Boy Pizza, but he does the Neapolitan or whatever. So it's like, I guess it's like those small pizzas or whatever. I haven't seen them out yet. But and then there's Tom just went to Pinch Gut Pizzas that's across.
I think I heard about that.
They're
I haven't
across
been
from
there yet.
Ferris and Trustville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a place in Woodlawn that just opened up. There's a place that a guy that I worked with at Whole Foods named John Rowland. He also worked at like a bunch of the downtown like fancy restaurants, everything. They opened a pizza restaurant that's somewhere.
Everybody thinks they can do
Forest
pizza
Park or
better
whatever.
than everybody
Yeah, yeah.
else. It's like,
Dude, there's a lot of bad pizza out there, though.
yeah, I don't
I
want to
can
pick
vouch
on
for that.
anybody.
Yeah, no, I'm not
gonna pick on
name
anybody.
names, but
There's some local pizza places that I personally am not a fan of, and I just don't see what the hype is. I really don't.
yeah.
But we're not gonna name names. But
But yeah, still though, I'm hoping that the place in Woodlawn, I can't remember the name of it, but they're where the
it's not where the Cycle Cafe is. Was.
they're first north. I think that's
Okay.
first south, right? And then or third south. But they're on the maybe it's first south. Anyway, they're a block over. But it's the same street. Like
Okay.
here's the Cycle Cafe, like cut street where the
I forget what else is over there.
I keep wanting to call it a cemetery. There's a what's it called where you go for dead people?
A morgue?
What's the,
I don't know. Like
the-
a funeral home?
yeah, funeral home.
Okay.
God, what
There's a funeral home over there?
yeah, it's right on the corner. It's right next to there's a little market, like a market right here, and then a funeral home right here. It's like busy all the time.
I guess I've never paid attention.
Anyway, take a left at the funeral home, and then on the right side, there's going to be a pizza place.
Those go hand in hand. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funeral and pizza.
Or we just buried Grandpa. Who's hungry? I don't know. Okay. Well, dude.
right.
Well, it's cool hearing about burritos, man, and hearing about your business and all that stuff. And I wish you guys all the best, man. Thanks for
Thanks.
coming to hang. This
Thanks.
is rad.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Or
Anything?
me, us.
Anything else that we should be expecting in the future? Obviously, the hibiscus flower burrito
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
live the time that this recording comes out.
Yeah,
So.
and I think that there's a lot of good response to the Tim version, which was last week's special, or there's 3 specials last week, but out of
Did that come in my bag? Or no?
No, it
It
didn't.
wasn't in the bag?
No.
Okay. Then I didn't try.
but so I had one, Tim had one, Tom had one. We were just like, what do you want to do? And we're like, okay, let's mix and match this and that, and blah blah blah. Tim kind of won out, I think. Also, it's another breakfast burrito. So
Dude, I gotta try the breakfast burritos. I
there'd
love
be
breakfast
like
burritos.
three breakfast burritos on if we add the Tim version to the permanent menu.
Okay.
So expansion, Tim version maybe, and then the hibiscus will be when this airs.
Sweet. Awesome, man. Well, dude, really rad. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And I'll order me some burritos. I'm like starving now. so.
Yeah. Burritopunx.com with an A.